There she is, the greatest city in the world, Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. Jose Abreu, Avi Garcia, Melky Cabrera and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Big Papi, David Ortiz, Pablo Sandoval, and the Boston Red Sox. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you Game 2 of this three-game set. As you know, we tried to come back in that game last night, but we lost it 5-4. And tonight, both of these teams are familiar with the guys they're going to be facing. It
was really a tale of two southpaws when we ran into this team in Boston. And Jose Quintana went to the mound and threw the ball pretty well. In fact, his curveball was so good that they really didn't touch him. 6 1/3, 6 hits, only 2 earned runs. He only walked 1. But these Red Sox, who are a good hitting team, didn't do much with him. On the other side of the coin, Wade Miley had some problems. Couldn't get his breaking ball over the plate, and the Sox took advantage of him. 5 2/3, 10 hits, 7 earned runs, and he walked 3. So Miley's done pretty well this year. He's won 10 games, but in this particular game, he just got hammered. So let's take a look at the pitching matchup. Last 2 starts, Miley's been very good. 2-0, his ERA below 2. Last 6 starts, Jose's been very good. 3-1, his ERA just below 3, and opponents hitting .281. So hopefully tonight he can get the breaking ball over the plate, and this Boston team is hitting the ball well. Maybe he can cool them off.
Well, they do have one thorn in their side in the season series.
That's Jose Abreu, who's been hitting everything in sight, but none better than hitting against these Red Sox. 24 home runs, he's driven in 77. Against the Red Sox this year, 9 for 20. 3 home runs, he's driven in 8. And in Fenway Park, he just saw the ball exceptionally well, and he hit it all over the ballpark. He took it to right, he hit it to center field, and he hit it out of the park over the Green Monster. So hopefully more the same tonight as the Sox can take the second of this 3-game series.
Well, one more game, one more opportunity, hopefully to get closer to that wild card spot. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Audi, truth in engineering. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. The annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. It's in the high 60s tonight, and it's a beautiful night for baseball as the White Sox take the field. And Alexi Ramirez decided that he was going to make the broadcast look a whole lot better by obscuring it. Then he decided to wipe off the camera. That's good. So I think we're going to be in pretty good shape, and we're ready to play baseball. Let's take a look at how Torey Lovullo is going to line up his Boston Red Sox. Mookie Betts is leading it off in center field, and it's Pablo Sandoval at third with Xander Bogaerts at shortstop. Big Papi, David Ortiz, is a designated hitter with Travis Shaw at first. Hanley Ramirez in left field. Ryan Hannigan, who had a good night last night, is behind the plate. Jackie Bradley Jr. in right field, and Josh Rutledge is at second base, hitting ninth. The defense and how they'll line up, and Jose Quintana left to right. Melky Cabrera, Adam Eaton, and Trace Thompson getting a start in right field tonight. Then it's Gordon Beckham, Alexi Ramirez, Carlos Sanchez, and Jose Abreu in the infield with Giovanni Soto behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jose Quintana on for his 26th start. Trying to win his 8th game of the year. His ERA more than respectable at 3.60. Only 34 walks, 134 strikeouts, and 160 innings. The umpires for the game tonight. Mark Ripperger is behind the plate with the crew chief, Bill Miller at first base. Ben May is at second, and Doug Eddings is at third. So this, the second of a 7-game homestand, as Robin is hoping that the ball club can come around, take advantage of this homestand. He's in his 4th year as manager of the Sox with a winning percentage of .458. And there's the interim manager of the Boston Red Sox, Torey Lovullo. He's 7-4 as the interim manager. John Farrell, who is the manager of this team, is undergoing some treatment for lymphoma. So they've thrown the ball around the infield, which means that we're ready to play baseball as the Sox come into this one at 58-65. The Red Sox come in at 57-68. They're in last place in the East. And the Sox trying to stay relevant in the wild card. So they've thrown the ball around the infield, which means we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over Comcast Sportsnet. So if you could join us for Game 2 of this 3-game set and Game 2 of this 7-game homestand. And here's Quintana's first pitch of the ball game, taken for a strike. Mookie Betts, 1 for 4 last night, comes in hitting at .271, 11 homers and 58 driven in. Outfield straight up. Bit of a gap in right center. And very quickly to count 0-2.
One of the reasons why Jose doesn't get hit particularly hard is he throws a first pitch strike almost 70% of the time. That's 4th out of 131 starters in the major leagues.
Jacks it up on that breaking ball. Red Sox, they come in hitting at .266 as a club with a 4.57 team ERA. He gone.
Throws a very good fastball. It's on the outer third and throws it right by Betts. So a good way to start off the ball game.
So here's Pablo. Pablo hitting at .259, 10 homers. He's driven in 40. He was 1 for 5 last evening. And going strictly left-handed.
And he's not going to walk very much. 23 walks and 406 at-bats. So that's why the batting average and the on-base percentage are very close to one another.
0-2 the count. Pablo, 29 years old, signed a 5-year contract for big bucks.
Had some very good years with San Francisco. And the Red Sox are looking for a third baseman. Pretty much figured they've got the answer there in Sandoval.
They do. And he made a terrific play last night. If you missed that ball game, here it is.
Adam LaRoche thinking he was going to get another swing. But Pablo had some other ideas. Good concentration. He comes away without getting hurt.
Got it barehanded? Yes. Yes. Good play. 2 down.
Good effort by Carlos as he comes in. Smothers it with the bare hand and has got some time to rearrange his grip and get it over there in plenty of time. Good effort.
Here's a good-looking young shortstop.
Well, the more you see him, the better you like him. He's very smooth defensively.
I was thinking on my drive home last night when you got Bogarts, and I was trying to go over, I don't know all the teams in the National League, but this is the best group of young shortstops in all my years in baseball we're looking at. Baseball is well situated now with all the great young talent coming in.
Well, it seems like most of the older shortstops have moved on or changed positions, and in their places, younger shortstops have taken over, headed by the guy in Houston, Carlos Correa. Might be as good as there is, but you look around the rest of the league, and the guys can really do it.
Nice recognition right there by Sanchez, and a 1-2-3 inning for Quintana.
Top with Garcia, Thompson, and Ramirez in the middle, followed by Soto, Sanchez, and Beckham rounding it out. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Wade Miley. It's Ramirez, Betts, and Bradley Jr. in the outfield with Sandoval, Bogarts, Rutledge, and Shaw in the infield. Ryan Hannigan behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Wade Miley. On for his 26th start, he's 10-9, his ERA about 4.5. And he's not overpowering, but he will get it up there about 93 miles an hour.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Adam Eaton takes first pitch strike. Adam, 1 for 4 last night, comes in at 265, 10 homers, 33 driven in. Count evens at 1. Sox hitting at .250 as a club with a 3.99 ERA. Checks it up and takes a strike. Just a piece of the zone blowing away. Sox 30-29 here at home. There's a chopper 2 hopper.
We'd like to welcome all of our viewers watching on Xfinity in the Central Illinois and Rockford areas.
So here's Melky. Melky at .269, 8 homers, 60 driven in. Melky 0 for 4 last night, and against Smiley is 3 for 5.
One thing that Miley will do is work very quickly.
Count hangs at 1-2, and here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. Chops that one foul. Joe McEwing will make that and make a new friend. And that's going to be in the seats. This is the 6th meeting of the year between the two clubs. In the first 5, we have won 3 of them.
Miley's best year came for the Arizona Diamondbacks. That was back in 2012 when he was 16-11 with an ERA of 3.33.
Close pitch, didn't get it.
Wade came over for Ruby De La Rosa, Alan Webster, and Raymel Flores December of last year.
And that is just foul. And another souvenir right side. New York and Toronto Blue Jays all tied up at 69-55, 7 games in front of Baltimore and Tampa Bay in the East. And Houston scored 5 in the top of the first against the Yankees in the Bronx. Bogarts has got 2 down. And Mark Burley and Derek Holland are teeing it up down in Texas. So here's Abreu hitting at .295, 24 homers and 77 driven in.
Jose has loved what he's seen of Red Sox pitching. We talked about it in the open. And last night, he took Joe Kelly right down the line. Didn't make it out by much, but certainly was enough. And that was his 24th and 77th driven in.
Well, Kelly, hard thrower. He's now 5-0 in August. But Abreu hitting .330 against hard throwing right-handers like Kelly the last 2 years. Close pitch, didn't get it.
There's a look at Joe Kelly, who got off to a real rough start. But last night he showed early in the game that he could get his changeup and his curveball over the plate, something he didn't do in Boston, and he got hurt by it.
And right now, let's check out our picks to play. Timancio, our director and crew. Well, Mike Leary and the gang, they went with Adam Eaton. Steve's going with Garcia and Terry Hanley. Eric Aldrich, Mike Williams, Roger Clare, and I. We're going to go with Trace Thompson along with David Novak and all the great folks at Poogie Hyundai in Downers Grove. And that's into left field. Line drive. 1-2-3 inning, and after one, no score.
Brought to you by Miller Lite.
And a reminder tonight, it's Ask Hawk and Stoney on Facebook. Got a question for us? Well, log on to CSN Chicago's Facebook page, and you might see your question answered right here over the air. Top of the second inning, Ortiz, Shaw, and Ramirez. Big Papi hitting at 262, 26 homers, 76 knocked in. Swung the bat pretty good last night, came up empty. Hit a line shot, and he just missed hitting one way out of here. High, towering drive. Big rip. Papi has faced Quintana 9 times, has 2 hits.
That's what he's done career-wise against our Sox, and pretty impressive in 128 games. 89 driven in.
One of the greatest clutch hitters ever in the game of baseball, David Ortiz. And he's got the records to prove it. And as I mentioned last evening, you know, I played against Madeline Maris, and Killebrew, and all those guys over there. Oliva. Greatest 1-2 punch I ever saw was David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez. That's back. Outfield bunch just a bit. That's high and deep. Well, we got a man there. Trace Thompson.
Here's our first question on Facebook, and it's directed at Hawk. It's from Jimmy McGann. And Hawk, Jimmy absolutely loved the documentary of you. Will there be another? Because he loved hearing the old stories and interactions with the great players.
Well, they're talking about doing another one. But it's hard. If I didn't have a wife and grandkids, it'd be really good.
Well,
but I have a wife and grandkids. In fact, I got a wife, grandkids, and a great-grandchild.
I don't think I would run that by Eris if I were you.
No, I'm not. No, that's a no-no. Thank you, though, Jimmy. It was a lot of fun doing that. Bruce Kornblatt did a wonderful job. Like after it was over, I told him, I said, Bruce, we got about 10% of it. And that is out number 2. That'll bring up Hanley Ramirez. Love to watch this guy hit as well. He's just been banged up his whole career. Another guy that if he could have stayed healthy, boy, what numbers he could have put up. Watch this leg kick on him. His leg kick is classic.
Well, what they've been trying to do with him, because they have a rotation in the outfield, and so he has to sit every 4th day. But they had him taking some ground balls at first base to keep his bat in the lineup.
That leg kick of his, though, that is something. There are a lot of guys that you like, especially if you're struggling, that you want to try to emulate a little bit. And this leg kick he has is not unlike Sadaharu O's. Great Japanese home run champion, who was not Japanese. He was Chinese. Taiwan.
He managed over 800 home runs.
He was a big guy.
That's pretty good.
We saw him down in Vero Beach in spring training one year. And I had no clue that he was that big. He had real wide shoulders on him, like Killebrew or Mantle. He got that leg up. I remember Bob Gibson and the All-Star team went over to play over in Asia and Japan. And he hit a few home runs off Gibby. And Gibby said, well, they told me he got his leg up. I just didn't realize he could get it down that quick. Bob Gibson, a great right-hander from the St. Louis Cardinals. Boy, was he tough. He gone. Got him upstairs at 94. That's quick for Quintana. Lottery is back. So stop by your nearest Illinois Lottery retailer and play today. You could win up to $5,000 a week for the rest of your life. Cash for life. The longer you live, the more you get.
That young man wins it. He's going to get a lot of money for a long time.
Under Armour will too.
Probably, yes.
Here's Avi, DH tonight, hitting at .268, 11 homers and 47 driven in. You know, that question we just got, I was thinking during the break there. I think I told you this story, Steve, about Gibby. We're playing in the 7th game of the World Series. Is that 89? 7th game of the World Series. And I go to the plate in about the 5th inning. And the first pitch Gibby threw me was a sinker. And I backed out of the box and I'm saying to myself, what is that? He didn't throw sinkers. Next pitch, another sinker. And I back out again. As that ball hit hard into right center field. Betts, circling the wagons on the track now, makes the catch.
Well, that was also Gibby's 3rd start in the World Series.
He beat us all 3 games. But the thing is that now all of a sudden I'm 0-2 on 2 sinkers, which he does not throw. And he strikes me out on the next pitch on a slider, which he had a great slider. So now I'm walking back to the dugout. Rico Petrocelli, I think it was Rico, was the next hitter. And I walk over to Rico and I said, Rico, he's lost his fastball. Rico said, what? I said, he's lost his fastball. Sure enough, he lost his. He had worked 300 and something innings that year,
which was at a 4-day rotation, which was actually common.
And it didn't bother him one bit. He shoved the bats where they shouldn't be shoved the last 4 innings against us and beat us in the 7th game of the World Series. The last 4 innings with a sinker. There is one in right center field. Now Betts is not going to get that one. So now Trace is going to turn it on. Those big old long strides. Here's the throw. Save! Pablo wants a review.
This is a very nice shift of the umpires as Mark Ripperger went out to third base and Bill Miller came to home plate. This ball is a changeup away, and Trace hits the daylights out of it, and then with his great speed, he's able to get into third base. Now, I think what Pablo is saying is his hand hit his foot and came off the bag, and then he tagged him. And I think they're going to make an appeal out of it as Rutledge makes the relay throw.
Well, look at Pablo. He's doing what he should do. He's blocking the bag. He's blocking the base off.
And that's one of the reasons why he wanted the replay. You see the hand go up over the leg, and he tags him on the back, and now we'll have to see what they say in New York. You see his right hand go up over the leg as he gets tagged, and the left arm never gets to the bag. So we'll have to see.
They'll have to wait and see. If you're just tuning in, no score here in the bottom of the 2nd. With 1 out, Garcia went out deep to right center, and Trace goes deep to right center. And that's the right approach for right-handed hitters off these left-handers. And take another look at this other.
We're going to zoom in and show you
angle.
The right hand and the right foot of Pablo. Right foot blocks him off the bag.
The question now, his right hand goes over his leg and his foot gets the bag, but the question was, did his left hand have the bag, his finger, or what side of the bag as he went by him?
Of course, this is going to come back to definitive proof, as Torey Lovullo decided that he would take his challenge and see what they say in New York. The left hand goes by the bag. That's not the question. The right hand goes up and over the shoe.
If the left hand gets the side of it, is the question. It did not get the side of it.
It doesn't.
You got to remember, MLB has 2 cameras in this ballpark that we do not have access to. We don't even know where they are. Mike Leary tells our producer, says that we have no idea where those cameras are, and we certainly don't have access to them. So they have 2 different angles than we're going to have on every review. Meanwhile, it was a nice piece of hitting by Trace, regardless of what happens.
This one shows you definitively that the left hand doesn't hit the bag. Now the question is, as the right hand goes up and over the foot, does it then get the bag before the tag? And definitive proof is going to be the key. And the call stands. He was called safe. The call stands.
So Terry Hanley, Eric Aldridge, Mike Williams, Roger Clare, David Novak. Oh, great folks at Poogie's picked to click on third with 1 out. His first major league triple.
Red Sox are going to concede the run if this ball is hit to the middle infield. They are in at third base with Sandoval. However, Shaw is relatively back at first.
Alexei. Takes it. A good pitch for him to hit.
Alexei has 6 sacrifice flies. That's a pretty good number. He trails Adam Eaton and Melky Cabrera as far as the team lead is concerned.
And once again, we can't get him in. 2 down. That's what, when you turn the head of the bat over, there's probably a good chance that you're not going to get him in.
Well, the key here, and a lot of people might have thought this wasn't particularly good base running, but there's a play called the contact play, and that was probably on, which means any kind of contact whatsoever, you're going. You're trying to put the pressure on the defense. Maybe they will either bobble it or not make a particularly good throw, and Trace is cut down.
Well, if the contact play was not on, then it was a bad base running play. If it was on, which it was, you got to run. You got to go. That's the manager's decision. If it's not on, then you got to make it get past, if it's up the middle, past the pitcher, or in that case, past the third baseman. One and 0. But the real key is turning the head of that bat over and once again leaving a guy in scoring position at third base with 1 out. Soto just drills it. So 2 on, 2 out. Here's Sanchez, 235, 3 homers, 24 driven in. Situational hitting. Wow.
Good over-the-top curveball from Miley. That one out of the zone, had Carlos well out in front of it. Miley hasn't thrown a whole lot of these tonight.
And that's foul. Says Doug Eddings and Mark Rippinger.
Pablo thinking that he can make this play and then just stand on the bag. But it is a foul ball. Nice thought, but a trickle foul.
He made a heck of a play on that slide by Trace Thompson. From the angles that we had, it looked like he was out.
You don't find that play made as much if a guy's going to come spikes first, but you certainly see a lot if a guy comes in head first.
Well, today the majority of guys are going to come in head first. That's back through the middle. Sanchez. Here's a throw to the plate. Now they're going to get Soto caught up in a pickle. And they're going to put the tag on. All right, so Alexei scores, and it is 1-0 Sox. Inside Look exclusive with White Sox great Harold Baines. Inside Look, Harold Baines, presented by Cadillac, premiering tomorrow at 8 on Comcast Sportsnet. Sox pick up 3 hits in that inning, score a run, and an inning that you don't see very often with 2 pickle plays in it.
Inning that could have been a few more runs, probably 3. Just didn't work out that way.
Very seldom see 2 pickle plays in an inning. And by that we mean 2 rundown plays. So here is Hannigan. Ryan. 2 for 4 last night. He swung the bat well. Two hard singles, a strikeout, and a line shot to Adam Eaton in center field. ate him up right there.
Join us for a special children's autograph session on Sunday, September 13th at 10:15 a.m. The first 1,000 children's tickets purchased through this special offer are invited to an exclusive pregame children's autograph session. Visit whitesox.com/autographs for tickets and more information.
Bradley Jr. hitting a .257, 5 homers, 23 driven in. He's been red hot. When we were in Boston close to a month ago, I'll tell you, he was hitting nothing hardly. He was hitting 196 for a career. Fouls that down. And hitting 121 with 1 homer and 2 RBIs. Something Chili Davis told him has lit him up. Chili Davis, former outstanding hitter, now the hitting coach, and a good one.
Here's a look at a man who was a pretty good switch hitter over the course of his career. He had power from both sides of the plate. Chili Davis. They thought he did such a good job at Pawtucket that they moved him to the major leagues.
All Chili did was hit 350 home runs in his career.
As far as switch hitters goes, that's not at the top, but it's near.
1,372 RBIs. So they'll tell you how consistent he was because he only drove in 100. One time he drove in 112 back in 1993. The rest of the time in 90s, 80s, high 80s. It's like Kaline, Al Kaline, Hall of Fame right fielder for the Detroit Tigers, hit 399 home runs and never hit 30 in a season. That's being consistent.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Thing I always respected about Chili was the fact he did it as well as anybody, and there's a base hit by Rutledge. He did it in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings as well as anyone. So you can cancel a post-game show. First hit given up by Quintana. If you're scoring along with us, the rundown. Last one was 8-3-6-5.
Rutledge came over from Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Got there around the time that we got to Boston.
So that is, they're going to wave him around. Good throw's going to get it. Bad throw. And then nobody covering at home plate. He's going to score.
Betts is probably going to get credited for a double. Going to drive in 1 run. And unfortunately, the Red Sox will take the lead. Ryan Butterfield makes the call and puts the pressure on Ramirez, who throws it well off the mark. And then unfortunately, nobody at the plate. And Mookie Betts, with very good speed, scores a go-ahead run.
So a good call by Brian Butterfield as there's a comebacker. And an unfortunate play for Jose Quintana. Wow. Greg Jones, if you could choose one player to build your team around, who would it be? Active players. Thank you.
If Miguel Cabrera was younger, I would probably pick him. But because he's not, it would have to be Mike Trout. I want to take a guy who can play every day. I want to take a guy who plays center field, and Trout does that. To me, in this day and age, in both leagues, Trout would be the guy.
Well, I don't think there's any question about Trout being one of them. To me, it'd be Trout or Bryce Harper and flip a coin. Harper being left-handed hitter when you get a predominance of right-handed pitching.
The only thing I like about Trout over Harper is Harper gets hurt a bit more than Trout does. Harper's a terrific player, no doubt about it. But he's also a right fielder with Trout playing center.
Right fielder with a great arm.
No doubt about that. He's got a
great
arm.
It's flip a coin for me. Yeah, that's down low. When you got as many right-handers as there are in the game, and you got a good young left-handed hitter with power like he has anywhere. As Beckham fouls it back. And baseball, predominantly a left-handed game. I love Mike Trout, and I love Bryce Harper both. Oh, nice pick by Pablo. He can pick it down there. That man, he can throw some leather at you.
That's been a surprising thing about Pablo since he's come in the league. You take a look at his body and you wonder how athletic he can be at third base. And then you watch him play third base, and he makes all the plays. And this is a tough one. I mean, this is do or die on the pickup. It wasn't a short hop. It was a long hop, and he still made the play.
Well, he doesn't have much trouble getting low.
No, he's mostly there.
As there is a strike for Eaton. And that's going foul.
Adam knows this ball is off the plate, but Mark Ripperger thought it was good enough. So you see where 4 appears on our Menards pitch tracks, and
that's just a bad call. That's all it is. Just a bad call. You don't like it when a guy misses a no-strike pitch. You like it even less when he misses a 1-strike pitch. But when they miss a 2-strike pitch, that's that bad. That's ridiculous. We've seen too much of that. We saw a lot of it in Anaheim, especially in the first and the fourth games. Melky grounded out to Bogarts. And there's another hang wolf'em for Cabrera. He's been amazing this year. Probably more hang wolf'ems than anybody in the American League.
'30th will receive a White Sox baseball cap presented by Marquette Bank. Marquette Bank, love where you bank. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Two-1, Boston. A gift run put them on top. Bogarts grounded out second his first trip. Had a little confrontation there between the Astros and the Yankees. Carlos Gomez in it once again.
That's surprising that he would be involved in a confrontation.
Joe Girardi went after him. Came out of the dugout to go after him. It may have been partially caused because his catcher and Gomez was starting to jaw back and forth. But Joe was jawing at him prior to that. Full count. Nice snap. Nice snap by Quintana.
Jose's taking care of the last two that have come back his way, and this time just reaches up. Make sure that Bogaerts is not going to get aboard, and he throws him out.
Big Papi went out deep. He just missed it, leading off the second inning. Well, I happen to be a big Carlos Gomez fan. I love the way he plays the game. He plays the game hard. Does he wear his emotions on his sleeve? Yes, he does. Does he do some things maybe he shouldn't do? Yes, he does. I love the way he plays the game. He's one of those guys who'll give it to you any way you want it. Had him off balance out in front.
He's one of those guys that you'd love to have on your team.
No question about it.
Because there's nothing that he can't do.
No question about it. I love guys like that. I love guys that have an edge. He wants to win. He's got that TW. That's low. He's probably the most disliked player in the game, and that's a big supreme compliment. He gone. 2 down.
This one down and in. Good location for a fastball. And Papi, who likes low pitches, probably doesn't like him that far inside, but he swung over the top.
Shaw, Travis, grounded out to second. I also love guys like Brian McCann. They were playing. Brian was Atlanta. Gomez with Milwaukee, and he wouldn't let him cross home plate. He wouldn't let him get to the plate. Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. By the way, Houston winning that game 9-0, bottom of the 6th inning. Now it's Keuchel on the bump. Oh, what a good pitcher. He's a Mark Burley who throws a little harder.
Keuchel is right in line, and it's going to be a tough decision, but Keuchel right in line for that Cy Young Award this year. Sonny Gray is right there. Chris Sale will be right there. It's not going to be an easy decision this year.
Yeah, some good young pitchers, good young players. Baseball, as I said, is well situated for a long time with the great young talent we have in it. That's off the glove.
Second error of the game, and this is going to be E3 as his ball hits off the glove and bounds away.
Jose's been doing such an outstanding job defensively. Besides swinging that bat very well. And here is Ramirez. Takes first pitch strike. Hanley struck out his first trip. Gap out there in right center. Beckham. 3 steps off the line and way back at third. And the 0-2 pitch. Goes. He gone. Nice tag by Sanchez. And that'll retire to the side. We trail it 2-1.
Best way for the Sox to approach the offseason?
That is a very subjective question.
I think that's why Matthew Vaughn asked it.
And that's why I'm not going to give him an answer, because I don't know. What would I do? This is a very talented ball club. Matthew, this is a very talented ball club we got. There's not a lot that has to be done. The only thing has to be done is we have to get off to a different start than we got off on this year, which we did not catch the ball. That'll put you in a slump faster than anything. It's bad defense, and that did it to us. Then we had trouble offensively. We've got a good pitching staff. We've got a good bullpen. We've got a guy now at third base who can suck it up over there. We've got a guy at second base who's getting better and better and better. We got Abreu there. Our catchers, between the two of them, have put out some of the best production offensively as anybody in the American League. Now, there's not that much to be done. That's why it's subjective. And subjective means a lot of times very biased. Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn have done their job. And Robin and his coaching staff have worked very hard. And at the Spectrios outing on Monday, yesterday, we were asked a lot of questions, Ed Farmer and DJ, Darren Jackson and myself. And there's no definitive answer why this club did not play better. Because Robin and his staff work on fundamentals, yet we don't play good fundamentals. They work on base running, yet we don't run the bases well. Todd Stevenson works on situational hitting, as there's a base hit. Todd works on situational hitting, and our guys don't go to the plate thinking about maybe making an adjustment and treating a situation like a man at third and less than 2 out like any other at bat. You don't treat that like any other at bat. You don't treat a situation with a man at second, nobody out, like any other at bat. And he's trying to get them to do that, and they don't do it. So it is what it is. Meanwhile, we got the leadoff man aboard. The same thing can be said for A.J. Preller in San Diego and Jack Zaremba in Seattle. They put a good team on the field. Talent-wise, they didn't play. And it's not the first time it's happened. It won't be the last. There you go, Javi. He will be held to a single as Jackie Bradley got to that ball in a hurry.
This is somewhat surprising in that it is taken down the line. You usually think of 2 bases, but not this time. Bradley was a very good outfielder, was shading toward the line and just barely over the head of Shaw. This is not an easy carom. That's not an easy play to make, but he was able to make it, get it back in, and so runners at the corners, but nobody out.
So here's Trace. Trace tripled with 1 out.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it is the aforementioned triple. It was appealed at third. He was called safe. It was upheld. And at third, he stayed.
Very good question, Matthew Vaughn. And there's a word that has to come into play sometimes, and that's accountability. There's a base hit. Attaboy, Trace. This game's tied at 2. Don't stop now, boys. That's the approach that right-handers should take on left-handed pitchers.
That's the first run batted in this year that was without the benefit of hitting it out of the ballpark, as he goes just by Shaw and 3 straight base hits.
Joe's going to have to walk all the way down to tell Alexi what he wants.
I like not leaving it to chance.
Alexei, the bunt, and they're going to go to third, and they're going to get it.
Well, the reason why Avi couldn't take off was that this bunt was popped up, and you never really know if Wade Miley's going to make this catch. So you can't take off. Got to wait for it to settle, and by that point, they get the easy force at third, and will isolate on Avi. He's pretty much trapped here. He cannot take off right away, so he's forced at third.
So here's Gio. He ripped a single in the center field. His first at bat. That's a little too much of a short stroke, Gio.
I think you're always talking about a short stroke. There it is. That's the original short stroke.
Well, that's keeping your hands in front of you.
He thought about swinging, then thought maybe not, but at the end, couldn't check it up.
It's a good thing that helmet's got a bill on it. That's low.
Good straight change, had him well out in front of it.
2-6 and 2 for us. 2-2 and 0 for them. Double him up. 2 down.
That's a second strikeout for Miley. That was a big one.
Here's Carlos. He had an RBI single back in the second inning. Just looking at a pitch. Takes it at 84. Close. Evens the count. 1-1.
Trace is able to get a good secondary lead as nobody is paying much attention to him out at second base.
That's off the end of the bat. But we pick up a run. The RBI by Trace Thompson. And we are tied at 2.
hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Young Sox fan, finding out just how many fingers she has, always a good thing.
So here is Hanley. Ramirez was at the plate. And Shaw was caught stealing. Beckham.
Dust off your blue suede shoes for Elvis Night on August 28th, presented by St. Xavier University. Come out to the ballpark for a tribute to the King of Rock and Roll, featuring performances by an Elvis tribute artist and a post-game fireworks show. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com. One of my dear friends, Jack Ruby, loves Elvis Night. He kind of resembles Elvis in the later years.
He does.
Just a little. And that young man is very early for Elvis Night.
Out of play. That last guy, he's just an old first baseman.
Couldn't hit the breaking ball.
Wore him out.
There is Dr. Jack with his son Michael.
And Michael ought to be in the movies. Yeah, that is ripped down into the corner. So Hannigan, as I mentioned, 2 hits last night, hit the ball hard 3 times, swinging that bat. That's a 6-2 bagger.
In the games against us, Ryan Hannigan has looked like he's a 300 hitter, not a 250 hitter. He just keeps swinging it and crushing it. It's only the 6th double of the season. It seems like he's had 12 against us.
So here's Jackie Bradley Jr. went out to Abreu. Corners in close. And there's the base hit. Boy, he is seeing that ball. Now they're going to hold as Adam gets to it. Hits the cutoff man. So 1 out, runners at the corners.
Pretty wise choice by Brian Butterfield. He knows he's got a catcher who doesn't have particularly good speed, and Adam Eaton got a good break on this ball.
Bradley's 7 for his last 11 with runners in scoring position. And sometimes the hitting coach can say something to you that just absolutely turns that light switch on. And then all of a sudden you realize that mirror can hit a little bit. That mirror will tell you if you can hit or not.
Bradley's going to be a good player. His best position, center field, is currently occupied by a young man who can also really play, and that's Mookie Betts, who was a middle infielder. They moved to center. So they've got a lot of good young players on the Red Sox. In fact, there's a lot of people that rate them number 1 as far as the farm system is concerned.
Well, the Red Sox, similar to a couple of other organizations, but the Red Sox over the years have always had a lot of real good players playing for other teams. Players that sign with the Red Sox. But that's a different type of scenario when you're talking about Boston, the Red Sox, and New York, the Yankees. Sometimes that causes GMs to do things they ordinarily wouldn't do.
In that situation in the American League East, which is normally real tough, you're not going to have a tear down and complete rebuild.
No. And you trade away a lot of your best prospects. That's the reason they got a lot of good players playing with other teams that they signed. Chops it foul. Does Rutledge. Well, that's one reason, trading those good young players away and getting some other veterans in. That's one reason they had 820 consecutive sellouts. He gone. Big strikeout. 2 down.
This is a big pitch. He had Rutledge well out in front of it. So Quintana with the go-ahead run 90 feet away. Wanted to come away in a situation with no contact. Now he's got to face a pretty good hitter in Mookie Betts.
He gone. And we are out of the inning. Good play by Gio. Good throw. Yes, we're halfway home. Tied at 2. How about both of them? And that way, Joe and I can jump on Mark and beat him up. How about that? As I told you, Chuck, there's 2 rules in baseball. The first rule in baseball is you got to catch the ball, and the next rule is don't mess with Joe West. But right here, Beckham. won't be Stone, I'll tell you that now.
I actually would send a credit card ahead so I could see the three of you having dinner together.
That's off the end of the bat. So that's out number one.
Of course, the credit card I would send ahead would be your credit card, but I'd send a credit card ahead.
Joe West. Boy, what a legend he is.
You guys could go over some of his country music favorites.
I've got them. I've got the album. I listen to it again. I get it in my car.
Yep.
I got what they call a jukebox. I got it in my jukebox, and every now and then, I got to be feeling really good, though, and then I'll turn it on.
Really good.
That means somebody else is driving. Here's Adam. Adam is grounded to second. He is struck out. Called out on a very bad pitch.
Sandoval believes that Adam is going to lay one down because he's in on the grass.
Tell you, Joe is. My buddy has a sports bar down there, Dewey's in Orlando, and he comes over to me. Eris is with me, my beautiful Greek wife, and says, Joe West is sitting over here. Joe was making an appearance for one of the sporting, I think it was Wilson. There's the strike. So Dewey said, let me take you over. I said, that's Joe West, Dewey. He said, I know. He said, I know the history. Let me take you over there. There's a base hit and a good way to start it. I said, okay. So we went over. I said, Joe, how you doing? He stuck out his hand. I shook his hand. I said, Joe, I want you to meet my wife, Eris. He looks at her and he goes, my condolences. That's Joe.
That's good. That's a good line.
So here's Cabrera. He's grounded to short, and he also hit a rocket to Rutledge at second base. And now Rutledge won't catch that one. So 1 out, 2 on.
Eight hits, and yet Miley still has yielded only a couple of runs.
Scattered 8 through 4 1/3. And here is Jose. He is lined hard to left, and he has singled and scored. Breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. That's where it was caught. That ball a little higher than that when it went across the plate. 15-0 now. Houston beating the Yankees. And after that little skirmish, Carlos Gonzalez homered. His next at bat. Gomez. What a talent.
Well, the Mets originally had traded for him, but they didn't like what they saw in the physical, so he was later traded to Houston. I think Houston's pretty happy about that. Of course, the Mets got themselves Cespedes, which turned out pretty well for them.
David Wright coming back, Cespedes in the first, actually 5, but for sure the first 4 they went out there on that bump. And
I was to say, and all that pitching they've got.
That Met club is one you don't want to mess with in a playoff. You'd rather have somebody else. Steps on the bag, now goes to first and time. And that'll retire the side. So we had a little 1-out threat going, couldn't do anything with it. And we're into the 6th, tied at 2.
Where the Red Sox scored both of their runs. Mookie Betts takes one into the corner. So Rutledge is going to score easy, and then the throw gets away. And with both Soto and Quintana going for it, nobody covers the plate, and a heads-up base running play by Betts. It's not a good relay throw. It turned out to be E6, but those are the 2 Red Sox runs.
And a good play by Brian Butterfield, the third base coach. There's first pitch strike to Betts. That's 22 years old. And the count 0-2. Check some other scores for you. Cleveland leading Milwaukee 9-4, bottom of the 8th at Progressive Field. Angels leading the Tigers 8-6, bottom of the 7th at Comerica Park. Top of the 5th in Kansas City, Royals leading Baltimore 3-2. Top of the 7th down in St. Pete. Minnesota leading Tampa Bay 10-7. Washington leading San Diego 8-3. It's the bottom of the 7th in D.C. Bryce Harper in that game 1 for 3. He's hitting .330 on the season. Let's see. Up the middle. No chance.
Now that's one, knowing who's going up the line. You just catch it, hold it, and make sure you don't throw it away, because Betts is one of their best base stealers, one of their fastest men overall, and the only thing you can do is get in trouble by making that throw.
He is 17 for 21 in that category. And here's Pablo. He's 0 for 2. Sanchez made a good play to get him back in the first inning. Takes first pitch strike. Pujols has homered. 3-run shot. Off Simon.
Mets with 17 stolen bases, been caught 4 times, by far and away their best base stealer. There are the career numbers. He's just going to get better and better, by the way.
He's got a good lead.
A lot of you don't know that if a ball is hit on the bounce, it's still in play. This one is hit on the bounce. It bounces well in front of home plate, and Jose winds up grounding into a double play, but that's a live ball. And unfortunately, a couple of hits go for naught as a 5-3 double play ends the inning on a one-hopper.
No balls, 2 strikes. Ball hit by Abreu. Down into the corner, so Betts is going to score easily. Pablo will pull up with a double, and it's a 3-2 Boston lead.
RBI number 41, and this is where a first baseman has to be careful, and that is if you come off the bag too far, the guy can rifle one by you. This is a shot down the line. Goes under the glove and rattles around for a while in the corner.
Xander Bogaerts is grounded to second and went out 1-3. Hit a hard comebacker that Quintana made a nice grab of. One and one to count. Another 22-year-old. And a count 1-2. Xander, who speaks 4 languages: English, Spanish, Dutch, and Papiamento. There was just a cookie right there that he drills in the hole.
Just going to bring Don Cooper out to talk with Jose. This is a rolling breaking ball that stays down and in. No late break on it, and Bogaerts was able to follow it all the way and take it through the left side. So runners at the corners. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning, and the Red Sox have already plated the go-ahead run. Sox fans, head to your local Famous Dave's and receive a scratch and win ticket for your chance to win a trip to New York to see the White Sox battle the Yankees. You also might get a chance to throw out a first pitch at a White Sox game. Great offers from Famous Dave's and discount White Sox tickets. Head to your local Famous Dave's today for a chance to be a winner.
Here's the big man. Fly deep to right center field. Just missed it. He's 0 for 2. .65 as we speak.
Big Papi's first pro contract was with Seattle back in 1992. He's been around a while.
Nine-time American League All-Star. Post pitch, didn't get it.
Ortiz has 7 sacrifice flies. That places him number 1 on the ball club in that department. That was the same pitch he threw by him and struck him out back in the 4th inning. That young lady high atop the Xfinity fundamentals deck, enjoying her night at the ballpark.
And no.
Jake Petrichka loosening up in the pen.
He brings him up. He gone. Big out. 1 down.
That's a surprise. David Ortiz not particularly happy with this, but Doug Eddings said he did go around. We'll take another look at it.
We'll take it.
Yeah. I think that's a break. And there you look at the numbers. 2 earned runs with 1 out here in the 6th. A double play ground ball here would look awfully nice.
Shaw 0 for 2. He's grounded to second and reached on an error. Travis's dad, Jeff Shaw, pitched parts of 12 major league seasons.
I remember Jeff, pretty good reliever. Travis is yet to ground into a double play. That's somewhat surprising, and this is his 29th game. Covering 87 at bats.
Back to our left. "12 years in the big leagues, pretty good pension."
Yeah, it is.
Bogarts 7 for 8 in stolen bases. Cops that one foul. Pretty good lead, decent lead by Bogaerts. This is where Jose, when he goes from the stretch, usually has problems. Slows everything down. He hung one and got away with it. Us back into the seats.
That one was right down the middle of the plate on our Honda pitch tracks, and fortunately Shaw caught it off the end of the bat. He was out in front of it. Occasionally you get away with some mistakes, and that was one of those. Arnie Baylor talking it over with Bogaerts at first base.
And once again the 2-2 pitch. Can't get him. Pavlo scores. And it's a 4-2. Red Sox lead.
RBI number 14 for Shaw. This ball slowly hit, and Carlos does as good a job as he can possibly do, and Alexei gets rid of it as quickly as he can. They just can't turn two. Is Shaw able to beat the play?
14th RBI for Travis. And here's Hanley. Hanley struck out, and he grounded to third. Outfield bunched just a little bit. Gap out there in right center. Hanley with that big leg kick, big swing. Hanley, National League Rookie of the Year back in 2006. 2009, he became the first Marlin to win the National League batting title.
He had 342 that year, drove in 106. What a year that was.
He does a lot of good work too. He works for the Ministry of Giving non-profit in Weston, Florida. That combines efforts in assisting children in Santo Domingo and Samana in the Dominican Republic by donating school supplies each August and distributing toys. Finally, very, very generous.
He came into this year with a major league batting average right on the nose of 300.
Oh, he's been a terrific. If he could have stayed healthy, his numbers would have been just off the charts. Four 7-0 for them, 2-8-2 for us. If you're just tuning in, we're in the top of the 6th inning, so we got plenty of time to come back. First of all, we got to get some bats in our hands.
One thing the Red Sox don't have with Uehara on the disabled list, they really don't have a closer. Tonight, if they do need one, it's going to be Tazawa, who had all kinds of problems last time out. Last night, we saw them try to close with Machi, who came very close to blowing a save, only to, at the last instant, get his second save of the year.
He gone. Took a lot off. The curve. But they come up with a pair, and we trail it 4-2. Isaac. Hawk, you played for Alvin Dark. Steve, you played for Earl Weaver. Have the players changed so much that old school managers like these would have a harder time nowadays?
Well, I think Earl would have been the first to tell you, because he quit managing and then came back to manage a second time and felt that the players were a lot different, and that was a short period of time. Now it's been a very long period of time. I think that both of these guys, good managers, would tell you that you have to do things a little different these days than you normally would. There's more communication today than there ever was back in the old school managers who used to tell you to do something and you just did it because that's what happened.
Well, it's both those guys. Earl, Hall of Fame manager. Alvin was not a Hall of Fame manager, but he was a terrific baseball man and a teacher of fundamentals and a teacher of the game. And he took a couple of clubs to the World Series. But would they have? Yes, they would have. They would have both of them being the old school baseball. As Avi pops up, being the old school baseball, they couldn't stand what was going on today. Could not stand it. When those guys were managing, most of the time when they first started managing, the manager was the highest paid guy on the club. And today he's one of the lowest, if not the lowest paid guys on the club. With with the exception of the rookies. But no, those guys would have a tough time. And there are some players today that would have had a tough time playing in today's game back in those days. As there are some players today who had a real tough time playing back in those days. You can't. It's hard to judge. You got to go by the time frames and what they did in their era, Bobby. And that's a good question, buddy. Mike Leary, I'm enjoying these FaceTime questions and tweets and everything. I didn't think I would, but I am. Some good stuff out there. Trace is 2 for 2 with an RBI. He had a triple. Nice take right there. Then he had that RBI single. That was in the 4th inning. 4-7-0 for them, 2-8-2 for us. Now, your great players from any time zone would have been great in any time zone. Softly hit. Pablo with another pick on the move. 2 down. When Earl came back, Earl didn't have those pitching staffs like he had before. He didn't have guys winning 20 games. He didn't have a bullpen that would shut you down, that would lock down bullpens.
But what Earl told me when he came back a second time, he knew that he was done as a manager when he'd actually go out there and be really mad at one of the arguments he would have. Because the first time around, he went out there and argued for a specific reason. He wouldn't have protracted arguments when his pitcher was on the mound. He would do it when the other pitcher was on the mound.
There's a cue shot. So Alexei picks up his first hit.
And another thing, managers in those days had a huge say-so in who was going to play and how much they were going to play. Today, a lot of managers are chosen because they will listen to what a general manager has to tell them about certain player personnel decisions. That's one of the factors that's really changed.
And it's growing in number.
Yeah.
It's not going to lessen. Oh, there's some things out there that guys who've been in the game a long time would really like to talk about publicly, but you can't do it. You cannot do it. Of course, that's in any profession. One, two, the count. 2 out. Gio, 1 for 2. That rocket single back in the second inning. Gap out there in left center. Betts playing over towards right. If he can find that gap, that will score Alexei. So certainly now with a 3-2 count and 2 down.
Now Shaw's going to play behind Alexei, so he'll be able to get maybe a little bit bigger lead before he takes off. And that's what Pablo is saying. Look over at first base because Miley wasn't. Sandoval got his attention and told him that Shaw was going to play behind Alexei.
.82 on that pitch. Had him a little off balance. Able to get a piece of it. There's a bullet. So Alexei will pull into third. And that'll bring up Sanchez.
Second hit of the night for Gio as he takes this one back through the middle. He just waited on a straight change and crushed this ball. So runners at the corners, the tying runs on base.
Sanchez 1 for 2, an RBI single back in the second inning. Sox fans are starting to notice that Carlos starting to take first pitch quite a bit. That tells you that's good. That's a very positive thing. And the reason being is Shows you that he's not afraid to hit with a strike on him. But there's the ground out to second, and that'll retire the side. We're into the 7th, trailing 4-2.
You just might see yourself on an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. And we've got a new pitcher coming in the game, and that pitcher is Jake Petrichka. So Jose Quintana's night is done. Jake out for the 51st time. He's 3-3 with an ERA of 3.59. And he's going to face the bottom part of this Red Sox order. He's got to hold him right there as our Sox trail their Sox by a pair.
So here, Ryan Hannigan been swinging that bat in the first 2 games of this series. Takes first pitch strike. He's 1 for 2 with double in this game. 2 for 4 yesterday and hit the ball very hard 3 times in yesterday's game. It's a nice little Cantini bounce there. Made it a little easier. 1 out. Want to know the count? Jackie Bradley Jr., who's 1 for 2. outfield, slightly to the left. And the count 2-1. With a 2-2 pitch. Had him out in front, just did get a piece of it.
Zach Duke loosening up in the pen.
Full count. And he's retired, 2 down. Couple of ground balls for the Jake Meister.
Hey, White Sox fans, next time you're looking for great seats, get to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right. On StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of WhiteSox.com.
Here's Rutledge. Josh takes ball 1.
That was a good, hard-breaking slider low and away, and Rutledge had no chance.
And Houston defeated the Yankees 15-1. Keuchel 15-6 with a 2.28 over Nova. Keuchel is good. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 9 strikeouts, no walks.
He's second in the league in earned run average. He leads the league in wins with 15. He's also second in the league in innings pitched.
And there's a base hit. So Rutledge now 2 for 3. Gaddis hit his 20th home run in that game. Gonzalez hit his 9th. Carlos Gomez hit his 10th. That was a 3-run shot. Here's Mookie Betts. He's 2 for 3. One of them Kansas City special, and then field single. He also has scored twice. Takes first pitch strike. Oh, look at the play by Beckham. Yes, beautiful. Throw some leather out there, Gordon. Mercy. 7th inning stretch. We need 2 to tie. p.m. with home field advantage. Sox, Mariners, Thursday at 7, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Gordon Beckham made a beautiful play, diving to his left to rob Mookie Betts, and now he's going to come up with a base hit to right field.
This is what ended the inning as Gordon toward the line, having to move quickly to his left, and from his knees a pinpoint throw to second base, and it's out of the inning. Now the Red Sox bullpen is starting to stir.
First and third in Adam. Adam is 1 for 3.
Alexi Ogando listening in the pen. Hard throwing right-hander.
Underneath is Rutledge. So 1 out. All right, Matthew Ross, Hawk. Any chance the guys will be wearing shorts to accompany this Thursday's floppy collar throwback jerseys? That'd be great. Well, no, they're not. But we hear there's a chance that a couple of coaches will show their calves. And,
they're going to look great.
Yeah.
If the coaches do indeed wear the shorts, but not the players. A little too difficult if you choose to slide.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you what. Don't even. I had more strawberries. Ozzie Guillen and I were the 2 worst sliders in Major League Baseball, maybe in history of Major League Baseball. I used to love to watch Ozzie try to slide. It was quite a show. Looked like a seal flipping around out there.
You would think that a middle infielder, especially one that didn't hit a whole lot of home runs, would know how to slide.
That's about the only thing Ozzie couldn't do well, I'll tell you that. Everything else, he did pretty well. Very well, as a matter of fact. Melky. And Ozzie will be managing again. That's one of the questions that were asked at the Spectrios outing at Glen Oaks, beautiful Glen Oaks Country Club yesterday. Cabrera, 1 for 3. Also hit a line drive right to the second baseman. One and 2 the count. That ball back to the screen. Now Gordon into third.
It's a breaking ball, and Hannigan cannot get his body in front of it. So that's probably one he would have told you he should have had, but most likely the 8th wild pitch for Wade Miley.
Two. That fastball in 93 from Wade.
That's as good a fastball from Miley as we've seen. He reaches back, tries to get a little something extra. Melky able to follow it off and stay alive.
Well, he's 10-9 with a club that's 58-65. .441 and pitching in that ballpark. Not all bad.
Driving home runners from third base with less than 2 outs. Melky has done it 71% of the time, and that's awfully good. Well above league average.
And he's one of the best for us. There's no question about that. That's back through the middle. Beckham scores, and it's a 4-3 ball game. That'll bring up Abreu.
.61 driven in by Melky on his second hit of the night. He takes it right back by Miley. So here comes Carl Willis, the pitching coach. He wants to have a word, as this one just got a little tighter.
Well, we were talking about it early, and we've been talking about it. Let me see. We've been talking about it since well, the season started April 6th. We've probably been talking about it from 23rd or 24th of April. You can't treat a man on third and less than 2 out the same as just any at bat. You can't treat a man on second base and no out the same as any other at bat. That's why the word situational hitting comes into play in baseball.
Well, especially when you got the middle infield back, when you need only a ground ball to get the job done.
Well, you were a smart pitcher. We talk about situational hitting. Well, there's situational pitching as well.
No doubt.
And you know when guys, good clubs, are going to try to use situational hitting against you. So here's Abreu. He's 1 for 3. Led off the fourth with a single, and he scored. 4-8-0 for them, 3-12-2 for us. Change up high. Doubled him up, down low, up high, down low. 2 changeups, 0-2 the count. I've always thought the term situational hitting should have been phrased and framed differently way back when. Instead of situational hitting, I've always thought it should be termed situational thinking. That ball gets away.
Either was crossed up or that was
You'd have to think he was crossed up.
Very bad catch.
Yeah.
He wants a high fastball, so he's obviously looking for a high fastball, only
he just whiffed on it.
He just did not make the catch. So that'll go as a pass ball, and that puts a tying run at second base. That could turn out to be a real big pass ball.
Two down.
This is a fastball that might have caught the bottom part of the zone. Jose most unhappy with that. And leaves Melky out at second, but Avi with a chance to drive home the tying run.
Ivy's going out deep to right center. Singled. And popped up to right. Big gap out there, huge gap out there in left center. Hannigan.
That time he was able to block one.
Yep, kept it in front.
This one bounded way in front of home plate. Ryan Hannigan able to have it stick in the glove.
Change up. He's got a good motion with that change. As a rule from up here, from our vantage point, you can see a lot of guys when they're going to throw a change. With him, you can't. Now, the hitters.
Yeah, it's easier to see it from up here than down there.
The hitters can't see what we're looking at because we're looking down on it. They're, for the most part, looking up on it. Too much time. I tried to get a couple of our hitting coaches in the past to have them build a structure that they could look down out over the plate when the guy was hitting, because you can see more looking down on it than you can from the side or behind. And there's ball 4. Like Bob Toski, great golf coach, great teacher for the game. Toski said that was absolutely the ideal way to teach golf, is being able to look down on the guy because you could see so much more. So right here, 2 out, 2 on, 1 in, 4-3, Red Sox.
22 hits allowed by Wade Miley in the 2 starts against our Sox this year.
And in the finale tomorrow night, we got Rick Porcello. They've got Chris Sale. So make your plans to be with us here at the ballpark. Sale against Porcello. If you can't, that game will be over WPWR. There's a shot by none other than Trace Thompson. And that's going to score a pair. And the Sox are going to lead at 5-4. Yes! Yes!
What looked like a base hit is going to drive Miley from the mound as Ramirez just whiffed on it. And it scored 2. Big night for Trace Thompson. A home run shy of the cycle. And as Miley walks out, we'll step out and be back after these messages. Hander Alexei Ogando. On for the 51st time, he's 2-0. His ERA 3.76. Only 19 walks with 46 strikeouts and 52 2/3. Trace Thompson crushes this ball. It's a fastball in. He just ropes it to left field.
He kept his hands in front of him. If he releases that ball's going to hook foul. We'll stop now. Pick him up. Alexei. Watch his hands. Right there. Keeps him in front of his chest. He got a chance to be a good one. He got a chance to be a thoroughbred. Like his dad and his brothers. And Alexei just missed that one. That's going to take over. Make the catch, but not before a crooked number goes up on that board. We'll go the 8th leading 5-4. Soccer on CSN Plus as our Chicago Fire hosts the New York Red Bulls. Live coverage begins at 7 right here on CSN Plus.
Zach Duke comes into the ball game. On for the 56th time. He's 3-4. His ERA a touch below 3.5. 49 strikeouts in 49 innings, and he's got a 1-run lead to protect.
He's got his work cut out for him. He's got Sandoval, then Bogarts, and David Ortiz. Pablo, 1 for 3. It was a bullet double down into the right field corner, knocking in a run, and then he later scored as there's first pitch strike. Big breaker there. Once that foot hit the ground, he was committed and had no chance.
That one he tried to throw him from second base. That one swept so far wide.
That one more like a frisbee.
Sandoval almost went after it. Checked his swing.
Boy, he does a lot of good things up there. We touched on it last night. Coming to a different ball club for the first time in his career. Finding a new place to live, new routine to go through, new teammates. And a lot of times that will take its toll. The 2-2. Payoff pitch.
Nate Jones loosening up in the pen just in case.
Arnie Baylor just made himself a new friend. And that's out of play left side. So ninth pitch of this at bat coming up. He gone. Took something off that slow curveball. He just could not hold up.
He had him way out in front, and that one had the whole plate.
That's not fair on 3-2.
That wasn't a get me over. That happened to be a good one.
Yep. Bogarts 1 for 3. He just ripped a single in the 6th inning in left field. Good sinker, good move, good move. This is the man you want because you got Ortiz on deck. Change up, and the count 1-2. He gone. Hook. 2 down.
That was a good sweeping breaking ball low and in, and he had Bogarts way over the top of it.
It's one of the biggest breaking curveballs Zach's had in a while.
Perfect location.
He's letting it work for him. There's Big Poppy. His first pitch strike. Some guys are just fun to watch hit, and this is one of them.
Not from 60 feet 6 inches, but from up here certainly.
That's right. He can have more fun in the bat like Miguel Cabrera. Those two and Adrian Beltre, those 3 guys can have more fun at the plate hitting than any 3 guys in this league. 3-1. It's full.
He was going to take that pitch the whole way, which is somewhat surprising on 3-1.
Took something off of it. Strikes out the side. Terrific job by the Zach Meister. Well, since 1869, when baseball first came into play, catbird seed has been in the game, in the vernacular, so to speak. And Kansas City special, we have seen enough of Kansas City the last few years, especially last year and this year, on little broken bat singles, little duck snorts out there, infield singles. And every time we get one now, it's just a Kansas City special. But those Hawkisms, those are just things that I used when I played. He gone and grab some bench. All of them. They've been around for a long time. The 1-1 pitch. High pop up.
Sox fans, the first 25,000 fans at Chicago White Sox game through tomorrow will receive a Hubbard Inn game card good for 20% off a meal at Hubbard Inn, Barn & Company, and Juliet's. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Here's Sanchez. He's 1 for 3. Yeah, professional baseball was founded in 1869. Nationally came into existence in 1876. So baseball, 146 years old. Out of play. 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike. And there's a base hit. A ball hit solid by Carlos.
First hit of the night for Carlos, and he got one right down the middle. It's a changeup. Second hit of the night for Carlos.
Yeah, he had an RBI single in the second. Outfield for the most part straight up. 5-14-2 for us, 4-8-0 for them in game 2 of this 3-game set. In game 2 of the 7-game homestand. As we mentioned, tomorrow night, Chris Sale against Rick Porcello. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Mariners come to town. Then we hit the road again on next Monday, off day. We will go to Minnesota for 3 and Kansas City for 3. One and 1 to count. Gordon started off that 3-run 7th with a base hit to right after he had ended the top of the 7th with a brilliant play off the bat of Mookie Betts, taking Mookie's 3rd hit away from him. Ogando, when he first came up, first game he pitched against us with Texas. Our hitters, that's all they could talk about after the game in the clubhouse was he had Nintendo stuff. He originally signed with Oakland as an outfielder. And there's a base hit, perfect by Gordon. Good throw. Beautiful peg right there by Jackie Bradley Jr.
This one is right on the button as Bradley Jr. comes up and throws a rocket. Ball beats him, and so does the tag. However, they are looking into the dugout to see if they want to make an appeal, and Robin's got nothing to lose by challenging it here. It's late enough where you never know.
Just a great throw by Bradley.
Tags him on his shoulder. It could very well be, if they see it the right way in New York, that the hand got in before the tag was on.
That's a better angle right here. Except that big behind of Doug Eddings was in the way on that one. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, for those of you who have not heard, they have 2 cameras. MLB has 2 cameras that we do not have access to, nor do we know where they are situated in the ballpark. Seems unbelievable, but it is what it is. That's a good angle there. That was a good angle. And he is out, they say. So 2 down.
And that's going to be it for Ogando as Troy Lavulo comes out. And Ogando will step out. We'll be back after these messages. In Sox apparel and souvenirs. Stop by the Chicago Sports Depot located at Gate 5 to get your authentic on-the-field merchandise and support your favorite home teams. Call 312-674-5SOX for more information or visit chicagosportsdepot.com. And our Honda call to the pen is left-hander Tommy Lane.
And he's got Adam Eaton.
On for the 48th time. ERA 4.35, and he's got Gordon Beckham at first base and 2 outs.
Adam is 1 for 4. Boy, that Kyle Schwarber is trying to go for the MVP in the National League. He had a 3-run homer off Matt Cain.
In that ballpark?
Arrieta is on the bump for the Cubs against a couple of good right-handers out there. Schwarber already 12 home runs. And 35 RBIs.
35 runs batted in 43 games.
Oh, he is short and quick. Keeps his hands in front of him. Gap out there in right center, if Adam can find it. Big breaker. Like one of Zach Duke's earlier in this inning. Zach, just tuning in, struck out the side. He struck out Pablo Sandoval, Xander, Bogarts, and Big Papi. You know, that's a good effort against a tough left-hander on you, but it just didn't work out that time. Meanwhile, we're into the ninth. We lead at 5-4.
Our Miller moment, and it comes off the bat of Trace Thompson in the 7th inning. Driving the ball by Hanley Ramirez, and 2 runs scored. And at this point, it's the difference in the ball game. The 3rd hit of the night for Trace Thompson, just a homer shy of the cycle, and David Robertson comes into this one on for the 46th time. 25 of 31 in save opportunities, 66 strikeouts in 48 innings, and he's got to nail it down.
Travis Shaw, first baseman, will lead it off. .6'4", left-handed hitter. Angels defeated the Tigers 8-7 in Detroit. Takes first pitch, strike. Miguel Cabrera got his average up to 371. He was 3 for 5. 3 RBIs. As count 0-2.
He's really feeling the effects of being on the disabled list.
Well, as we said, he's as good as he gets. He's gone. Backdoor hook. 1 out.
Just nips the outside corner, and that's a big first out.
As we talked about, in the last 50 years, probably the best 4 right-handed hitters coming in this league. Cabrera, Big Hurt, Manny Ramirez, Albert Pujols. Here's Hanley. Hanley 0 for 3. He's dangerous. Not up there. Hard to get up there. Bit of a gap out there in right center. And that's foul. So the count 1-2. Be gone. Perfect pitch.
Can't complain about that one. That one had the outside corner at the knees, and not much Ramirez can do about it. It is right there.
So Zach Duke struck out the side in the 8th. David, first two here, and here is Hannigan. Broken bat. Thank goodness it stayed in the field of play. Toronto scored 2 in the top of the 9th down in Texas. Take a 6-5 lead. Yankees lost, so Blue Jays bidding to move into first place. But right here, we got to get an out to get a win. If you're just tuning in, Quintana pitched better than those numbers will show tomorrow. 6 innings, 4 runs, 3 earned, 6 hits, 6 strikeouts. But right here, 0-2 the count for the Carmine catcher. Thank you, everybody. Two balls, 2 strikes. This ball comes down, this ball game will be over. So the Sox tried to come back last night, fell 1 run short. They put a 3 spot on the board in the 7th and 9th to come back and win this thing 5-4. And what a game by our player of the game, Trace Thomas.
Well, just a big night for Trace as he comes a homer shy of the cycle. He hit the ball all over, hit the ball hard to right, hit the ball very hard to left. Just a huge night and a big comeback win. And now, with the series tied, it's Chris Sale tomorrow night.
All right. So, for Steve Stone, for our Hall of Fame director, and our Hall of Fame producer is going to be our associate producer, Keon Dolashahi, our technical manager, Mark Harper, and also for the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, for Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, Frank Leone, Doug Bullard, and also the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. We want to thank you all for your questions on CSN Chicago's Facebook page. We had fun with that tonight. We'll do it again. You've been watching White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet.